Spencer Ross was one step forward, and I hope your week was good. I hope your weekend was good, and I hope your coming up week will be good as well. Culture. What's your culture? All right. So when I do videos, normally I put a couple different scenarios out there to hopefully broaden what you can think about. And I don't want you to limit it with that, but this week or for this one, I'm just gonna use a few. Okay, so hardware stores. How do you know it's a hardware store? Things like that. All right. For culture, what is your culture? What are you presenting? How do people know that you're a leader? How do people know? Because people will know. Okay, they might judge you. They might think of you a different way, but people will know who you are, whether they see you as a leader or not, when they start to get to know you. If they choose to get to know you. If they don't, then you can't force yourself upon someone. They're gonna think of you in a bad light. Okay, maybe you can work to change that. Maybe you can't. But let's get into it. All right, so hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, Do It Center, just your neighborhood one that's always been around. Doesn't have to be old, but when you walk up to a hardware store, how do you know it's a hardware store? How do you know you're at the right store is a good question. Okay, so they have a sign up front. They've got Home Depot. Okay, I'm just going to use Home Depot as an example for this, just so I don't have to keep saying Lowe's and Do It Center and all the rest. All right, so I can see Home Depot is on the building. They've got trees out front. They've got barbecues. They've got lawnmowers. They've got manure. They've got flowers. Whole bunch of stuff. All right, so when I am first looking at someone, what do I see? Well, if I'm meeting someone for the first time, what do I see? All right. People will judge you. I know. It's not cool to say that we judge people. We judge people. Everyone's going to judge you, right or wrong. People who say they don't judge people, I don't know why they say that. We do. We live in a society where there's school shootings. Ask any parent at a school if they judge people that they don't know at the school. Yeah, they're going to do it. When I was at a neighboring school to get something because I was picking up something for the music teacher, I got yelled at by a staff member because she judged me as a stranger. That wasn't wrong. She did the right thing. So to judge people isn't bad. She did the right thing. I was in the wrong spot at the wrong time for her, but there has been some, obviously I'm picking something up, so it's different, but she did the right thing, okay? It doesn't make it wrong to judge someone. All right, so I'm wearing a gray shirt with some stripes on it. All right, cool. That's all you can tell just by looking at the picture. Are we going deeper than what we can see? Well, Home Depot or my culture, right? We'll get to that in a second. When I look at it and I see all this stuff, well, I know I'm at Home Depot because there's a sign and there's stuff in front for something I'm going to use. If I need to buy a tree, maybe I go to Home Depot, maybe I go online. Okay? When I'm looking at someone for leadership, I'm going to have breakfast with someone tomorrow. Fantastic guy, great mentor. He's 1 year older than me. Sometimes people say you have to have age to be a mentor. He's been my mentor for a long time. He's a good guy. He's got 2 kids. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got another kid on the way. He handles himself appropriately. He does yell at times. He hammers kids when he needs to. He's soft on kids when he needs to. He teaches well. He communicates well. He dresses appropriately. He speaks appropriately. He handles other staff members appropriately. There's lots of stuff that goes into being a leader. Well, culture is what you have around you. When I walk into Home Depot or when I'm looking at Home Depot on the outside, I know it's a construction place. It's a maintenance place. It's something where I can buy materials to fix something. Your culture is what you put in and what you put out. Okay? When I'm in there, there's concrete in there. There's nails, there's hammers, there's paint. I'm just going down the aisles and there's concrete, and then you can just keep going. Okay, so you can tell that I like to move around. I like to look just by watching my body language. Okay, that's what works for me. All right. If I go to a plumbing store and they just have plumbing stuff in it, that's what they are. That's what they do. As a leader, people will be able to tell who you are by what you do, by what you sound like, by what you present. Okay? Just because I talk about what you see on the outside, well, it's also your actions. Are you allowing bullies to bully people around you? Are you making people beg for help? How many times are you making someone ask you for help before you help them? Are you telling people that they're beneath you and they have to do what you say? Well, there's an appropriate time for that. If they're not doing what you say, but if you're just randomly being asked a question, hey, why do they do it that way, Bobby? Oh, because they have to do it because I'm the boss. Okay, what are you presenting in your culture? Grocery stores, right? How do you know it's a grocery store? There's groceries in there. I talked about a plumbing store. There's plumbing materials in there. For a flower shop, there's a flower shop. There's flowers in there. There's vases. What's your culture? What are you presenting? What are you doing? What are you repeatedly doing? If you're trying to lose weight and you never try to lose weight, you're not eating right, are you actually doing what you're saying? Yeah, there's mistakes, there's cheat days. I'm not talking about that. People will take you out of context. Okay, are you patient with them? You want to be the best leader you can be. Cool. What are you doing to grow? Watching a video like this is good, but are you watching other videos? Are you reading other books? I went to a men's breakfast yesterday. It was good. The guy had some things I need to think about. It doesn't mean I agree with everything, but that doesn't mean if I see someone and I judge them on their appearance, judge them on the way they talk, on the message that they present, but not what's in the message, then am I being the best leader that I can be? No, I'm not. Okay, so that young lady who yelled at me at the school, she judged me. Cool. She asked some questions and found out that I was not a bad guy. Cool. She did her job. She's a leader. What's her title? I don't know. Is she the principal of a school? No. Is she the CEO of a company? No. Is she a young lady? Yes. All right. So maybe someone's told you can't lead because you don't have a title or because you're not the right gender or you're not the right religion. All right. What's going to be your culture? Are you bringing people in around you saying, hey, what's your opinion? That's how you build your culture. By asking people questions, hey, I want your opinion. No, you don't care. No, I do care. Can you please tell me what your opinion is on the idea I shared? And it's going to take time for them to trust you. It's going to take time of you repeatedly asking them in a gentle way, in a loving way, hey, I want your opinion. What do you think of this? Okay, if you say you're a leader, what are you presenting to people? What are you doing? You make a mistake, are you going back and saying sorry? Some people will call you weak. All right. Well, if it's weak to see and understand that you did something wrong and to say, hey, I was wrong, that's their culture. That's not my culture. That's not who I am. If I do something wrong, I go back to the person if I can, and I say, sorry, I did that wrong. I'm going to work on it. Okay? And it takes humility to do that. Well, if you're not humble, then it's going to be present in how you act with people, in your speech. If you say that you're against sexual harassment, but you talk in a sexually harassing way, that's your culture of what you're presenting around you. Just like when I walk into Home Depot and I walk into Lowe's or I walk into the grocery store and buy milk, I know it's a grocery store because there's groceries there. I know when I see my friend tomorrow for breakfast, he's a leader. Why? Because I talked about some of the things I look at. He speaks well to people. He doesn't tear people down by causing negative rumors. When he talks to kids during COVID, you had to stay 6 feet apart. Well, these kids were kicking each other because they're junior high boys. We do dumb things. Okay, yes. Well, how did you get hurt? Well, don't lie to me. There's big windows. I just walked out of the room with big windows in it. You're supposed to be 6 feet apart. How do you touch someone when you're supposed to be 6 feet apart? And how are you hurt? Oh, because you kicked him and he kicked you back. I was there taking down the flags. And I had already yelled at him to stop. What are you going to do? What are you presenting around you? If the culture or the environment that you present isn't positive, what do you need to work on? What's your attitude? If your attitude is negative, then you'll influence the environment around you to be negative. And that will define your culture. When I walk into the band room or the choir room, okay, how do I know it's the band or choir room? It's just a room. You can make a classroom, whatever. Well, a science room is a little bit different than the band or choir room. Band or choir room doesn't have desks in it, doesn't have chairs in it, because they need to move stuff around for the instruments. I don't know what it is until I fill it with stuff. As a leader, what am I filling myself on the inside? What I fill myself with on the inside is what I will put out. If my friends are mean, that's going to influence me. That's what I'm going to put into myself. Is negativity, is not kind speech. What's culture to you? When you think of your environment and your coworkers around you, your family around you, your neighbors, how are you presenting yourself? You can fake some of the people a lot, but you can't fake everybody all the time. You're gonna be true sometime. It's gonna come out. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. We're all trying to work for perfect, I think, in different ways. But are you trying to change the culture around you to be better? If there's someone using inappropriate speech, are you gently trying to tell them to stop? If it's their 50th time, do you need to be gentle? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. Sometimes you fight fire with fire, sometimes you let the fire burn out, and sometimes you fight it with water. I don't know. There's lots of different options for you to do, and you are only limited by your imagination. Go ask a mentor, find a mentor, maybe ask for someone to mentor you. I'm not asking the person tomorrow that I'm having breakfast with to mentor me. I call him someone who is one of my mentors, and I went to him last week. I was like, hey, what are you doing for Monday? And he's got time, so we're going to have breakfast together, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good to catch up. Okay? But that's my culture, is spending time with people. That's what people can see. Whether I'm being loud about it, people are going to see us at breakfast. There's no way to hide it unless he comes over to my house or I go over to his house. But if he comes over to my house, my neighbors are going to see it. If I go over to his house, his wife and his kids are going to see it, and his neighbors are going to see it. Someone's going to see it. As much as you try to hide your good deeds or bad deeds, someone's going to see it. Yeah, every once in a while, like I said, or people have said before me, you can trick some people a lot of the time, but you cannot trick everyone all the time. Okay? If you like listening to inappropriate jokes all the time, well, you're probably going to slip up and you're going to say an inappropriate joke. Stop putting that in your life. That does not mean if you go to a comedy club and people say jokes, you shouldn't go there. If they say one or two, we can whittle this down to nothing. Okay? There's an appropriate place for things, right? Comedy clubs are different. But what are you going to do? Who are you going to be? What's the culture? What are you presenting? What are you allowing for the things around you? When we think about culture in society, okay, so what's a culture? Well, all the houses on the street have fences. All right, so it seems like the culture on that neighborhood is to have fences. It's what you can see. And I'm not saying fences are bad, but are you letting people into your life? Are you being humble? Are you trying to help? Are you telling people to stop in an appropriate way? That might be gentle, that might not be. What are you doing? Are you belittling people, causing rumors, saying hi to people? The list goes on. Spencer Ross is one step forward, and how are you taking that step this week? Have a good one.